Alright, welcome back to final step 2 of the Hammer Bronzen Schietspoel in Dolfijnbodem Tilburg. Final step number 2 consists of 2 games and all players play against just the people on that pair of lanes. So you gotta be with the top 2 on your pair of lanes to advance to the next round. Besides that, there will be place for 4 lucky number 3s. So the 4 best number 3s with the highest scores over 2 games will advance as well. There is nothing right in front of our booth at the moment. They are playing at 19 and 20 and on the lanes 1 through 10. Which will mean that later today we will have more broadcasts, because the big final will be played on 15 and 16 and the semi-finals will probably go to 13, 14 and maybe 11, 12 or 17, 18. So we will see a lot more later. So we're looking at a little bit of a different angle at the moment. And we are going to use the live scoring ourselves as well. You can find it by schietspoel.nl. and go to live scoring in the top, and this is what we need as well to be sure that we know what's going on the lanes 1 through 4 and 5 through 8, for example. 9 and 10 is what we have on the live stream, and I can see that out of the corner of my eye as well. Excuse me. So we see on lane number 9 and 10, we see Falco, the German guy, Johnny Spill from the Netherlands, John Wells and Rebecca Larsen. And they will make out on our live stream who will go to final step 3. At lanes 5 and 6 we see Annabelle Jean with Brian Vos and Daniel Franson and Jean-Marc Lebon. And on the lanes 7 and 8 we have Karsten Hansen, who just came in. We have Jeffrey van der Wakker, Birgit Puppler and Jimmy Raves. Johnny Spill started off with a strike, second shot. Messenger on a 10 pin, late hit, but 10 pins down, that's what we are looking for. When I look to my right on lane 19 and 20, I see Jesper Svensson, the left-hander the left two-hander. And Yuri Vance with Jesper Agerbo and Olivier Leroy. John Wells on the approach, working on an open and a strike. Leaves a 2-8 here. If I look at the live score, I see Annabelle Jean starting with a strike and then 2 splits. Brian Vos just 2 spares. Daniel Franson strike spare open with a split as well, and Jean-Marc Lebon also just 2 spares to start off. On lanes 7 and 8 is Jimmy Raves taking the lead with Turkey to start off. Birgit Puppler is following with 9 spare strike, and she has another 10 pin at this point, I can see. Karsten Hansen Started off with a spare and now a double following to that. While we are watching Schietspoel in the meantime on his 7-pin after the double, and that's an easy spare. Rebecca Larsen. Rebecca Larsen started off with a spare and now a double through 3 frames. I'm going to see the live score on lanes 1 through 4, see what I can say about it. I see that especially on the lanes 1 and 2, Mai Ginge Jensen, Mark Jacobs, Camilla Kjeldsen and Thomas Larsen. They are trying to make it a good match. They all have 1 spare and 2 strikes so far. And on lanes 3 and 4, Mats Maggi and Björn Roetshagen starting off with a turkey. Björn I cannot see yet though. Yeah, looks like that's a turkey as well. And Jolene Persson and Jort van Weeren are just trying to follow up and stay with them. Falco Gutje on the approach, starting off with a solid pin miss and now a turkey after that. John Wells.
Okay, Daniel, seems everything runs fine now.
I think so.
Yeah. Just did the technical things here in the live stream set. Simon is not here, he's playing the club championship, so I gotta do it alone. But no matter.
Johnny just left a really big split. The 2, 4, 8, 10. And we see Rebecca Larsen working on a double after that spare in the first frame. Looks okay, yeah, it is. Let's see what Johnny is gonna do on this big split. He will just take 3.
Yeah, it's the best option to pick up 3. I tried to make 2 splits this week. I hit only 1 out of 2. And I missed the cut by 2 pins.
Yep, and it can cost you already 2 pins just by missing 1 spare after a double, for example. So.
Yeah. But it wasn't my second game, so yeah. You think it's a lot of games to go, so try to make...
To get as many pins as possible at least, and then... Well, but probably that's probably not the only reason why you didn't make it at the end. There were probably other factors as well. Maybe an undeserved 9-pin or something like that didn't fall, or maybe you had a strike that did fall. So
that was interesting because I had really a high flush. All was down. Then 1 came up and stand up between 6 and 10 or something there.
Exactly.
Really strange.
I think at the end of the day it all evens each other out.
Yeah.
And you will get the score you deserve.
Well, Daniel, you play also on this pattern and in this tournament. What do you think about the pattern, the lanes?
I think it's a pretty good pattern, but the thing you see with this quality of players as well is they will make they will just create a line that will make the scores or to find the pocket so easy. And you saw it on this last shot from Rebecca. You don't need to hit the pocket perfectly in this center to be sure to get a strike. So I think there was something for everybody on a lot of different lines. But what we see at the moment is that the high rev players are in advantage at the moment.
Yeah.
The guys that can play really deep inside out.
Yesterday on the chat I heard a discussion. They ask, is it a house shot? Because the scores are so high. I think it's not a house shot, but it's not so difficult that it's impossible to play. What do you think about it?
Well, yeah, it's the same.
It's not really a house shot.
It has a ratio of 1 to 2.1, I think it was. So it's definitely not a house shot. Every ratio tells it's a sports shot, but like I said, with the quality of players and the combination of the bowling center, and it has been really good weather this week. So I think all those factors, all those circumstances make that it was a high scoring tournament at the end of the week.
Yeah.
It's a 2-8 for Falco. When I look at the live scoring, checking back on lanes 1 through 4, Maya and Thomas still only one spare and the rest strikes. Mark Jacobs had an open frame in the fourth and Camilla had an open in the fourth, so they are a little bit behind at this point of time.
It's interesting for Mark to stay on the same lanes with Mike Inge Jensen, Camilla Kjelsen and Thomas Larsen. Hope he will survive it.
And on lanes 3 and 4 we see Mats and Björn going pretty close up with each other. And Jort just threw a double, trying to get the pace with him again and see if he can get back in the game. And the same for Jolien, to be honest.
Jort is third now at this moment. Also for hopefully for Jort, he will make it. So we can see more Dutch people, of course, in final step 3. Who did he get on 5 till 8? Let's check in the live scoring now.
On 5 to 8 we see Brian Voss again taking the lead there. Annabelle Jean just had an open in the 6th for 82 in 6. Daniel Franson already had an open, I told you guys before, he has 82 in 5. And Jean-Marc Le Bon has 67 in 4 with a strike after that.
So that's an interesting pair so far.
Yeah, only Brian is doing what he's supposed to do at this point in time. Using his one ball to throw as many strikes as possible.
Yeah.
On the lane 7 and 8 we see an even game as well. Jimmy Raves is taking the lead pretty well, with starting off with 4 strikes and a spare. Birgit Poppler, Jeffrey van der Wakker and Karsta Hansen, they all follow with around 80 to 90 in 4 frames.
Yeah, and Jeffrey only got 9 spare, 5 times in a row.
But he just threw a strike, so
he changed that game.
So he's going to pick up the pace as well. And to my big surprise, on the right side of us, I saw Yuri Fens a minute ago starting.
And he's starting
with
really
a 9
great.
dash.
He's the leader at this moment.
And then he threw a strike, a spare in second, and
shot open spare, yeah.
open spare 6 strikes. And Jesper Svensson is doing a little bit better by not opening.
And
but
Yuri can shoot 269 if you strike out. 269 maximum score. Jesper can shoot higher, 279.
Yes, but that's still 2 frames ahead of us. For Jesper, even 3.
Jesper shoot a strike again. So Jesper is 10 pins more than Yuri has at this moment. And Jesper Agabo is now 146 there, and Olivier Leroy is on 176, but he throw an open frame now. So it's a chance now there for Jesper. Come closer to Oliver.
That's a good shot.
Yeah, strike.
So he can make 226 max at this point. And Olivier Leroy can throw 236 at this point. Yuri Fens is up. And that's a decent shot.
It's a nice shot.
And you heard the audience because he's playing at home here, so he will get a lot of people behind him when he comes every round further. Alright, let's go back to our lanes on lane 9 and 10, which we do broadcast.
Brian Voss got 5 in a row behind 2 spares on lane 5 and 6.
Falco to make it a double. No, he doesn't.
No.
He's still on a good pace though for that pair of lanes, although Rebecca Larson, who will come up next.
Yeah, Rebecca can shoot out
There
for
she
290.
is. And she's going for frame 8 right now. Let's see what she's gonna do on this shot. It's a big shot because if you take a huge lead in the first game, and there it is. Another strike for her. Jesper Svensson struck as well. Let's see what Yuri does in the meantime. Nice.
Haha.
And you hear that people from one of our microphones that's hanging there.
But Danielle, we support the Dutch guys.
Oh, absolutely.
Of course. We want to
and I think nobody will blame us.
Yeah, I was watching on Facebook. The Dutch U team yesterday got a very good practice, they say. So
And
maybe
Yuri was there indeed, yeah.
Yuri was there.
That's correct.
And see what happened now. He's in final step 2 and he's going for a really high game. Now number 11.
Come on, make it.
Yeah.
Great shot there.
It seems very solid how he play. Easy, good timing.
But still starting with an open. And that's 11 pins in this case.
Yeah.
And because he strikes out at this point, that's okay. But those 11 pins, if you shoot 220, it can make a big difference because Jesper is shooting 226.
Yeah.
But he will learn from that experience as well. 269. Oh, no, ringing 10 for 268.
Whoa.
Great game. Let's see if Jesper goes over that. Alright, let's go back to my live score from lanes 1 to 4. I see my Ginga is through 8 frames on a 280 max. Marek Jacobs can top out for 236. Camilla Kjelsen can top out for 234. If she makes this pair, I cannot see it, but I guess she will. And Thomas Larsen can max out to 247. So that's interesting. High scores on lanes 1 and 2. Lanes 3 and 4, Mats Maggi. I see a split in frame 8. A 4 split even. So no scores yet. Jolene Persson had 3 splits in a row and a strike in 7. Looks like Jolene's not gonna make it. Already after one game she's gonna fall like 50-60 pins behind look alike, so most likely. Jesper Svensson started off with a strike in the 10th as well on lane number 19, so he can still top out to 279. Oh, and that messenger didn't get to the 7 pin, he's a lefty. So he's going to shoot 268 as well. And Oliver, with a strike, he's going to shoot 216. So we got 216 for Oliver Leroy, 226 for Jesper Agebo, 268 for Yuri Vens, and 260. He's going to throw this pair right now. And 268 for Jesper Svensson. So Jesper and Yuri have a 60 pin lead, but last game.
No, not 60. Best 2. For the best 2, it's not 60. It's 40,
Yeah, I'm
42,
sorry.
42.
42
but
pins indeed.
there are 4 best numbers 3
Yeah,
also
lucky
qualify.
losers.
They are the lucky losers, so possibly this is one of the lucky losers on this pair of lanes. When I look to the left side,
Well, what I wanted to
I
say
see
about
a lot
Yuri
of
as
games
well.
there, but only Rebecca is in the 200 so far now. So I think the lucky loser will came from 1920 at this moment.
Yeah, 1 at least.
Yeah.
Well, and from 1 and 2, of course. We see pretty high scores on lane 1 and 2 as well. But what I was going to say about Yuri still as well, what we saw in final step 1, he was playing the last game in front of us on lane 15 and 16, and he shot 183. He still had to fight pretty hard to make it to final step 2 as well. Oh, and Jesper starts off with a pretty hard 4-9. And Mai is still striking. It looks like she's going to shoot 280. Well, we wish we could show you some other lanes, but they are not playing at any other lanes we can broadcast at this point.
Yeah,
so
they ask in the chat, or we can switch camera to other lanes. Impossible, because we have only focus on these lanes now. That's no problem.
We can show them what we see.
Yeah, you we can show empty lanes, but no,
yeah,
that's not what you want. But the advantage is from this system that we have the last final steps live on cam right in front of us, so that's better. But we keep inform you what's happening around us. Let's see, Mike Inge Jensen on lane 1, she can shoot 280 maximum score. Mark Jacobs can shoot 236 maximum score. Camilla Kjelsen can go for 234. And Thomas Larsen can go for 247. Yeah, I think the lucky number 3 will also came from that pair.
well, but that's still a pretty good game as well, and a pretty good fight to make it to final step 3 just by qualifying yourself, of course.
Yeah.
Because we got twice 230 probably, depending on what Mark is going to do.
Yeah, I don't know if Mark is fighting. Normally you will hear him here.
Yeah. And that's like
He's
16
screaming.
lanes down.
Yeah, if he's screaming, you can hear him on the other side of the bowling.
And Mai is finished, and I cannot see it from here, but it looks like she did not strike out. It will refresh in a second, I hope, on the live score. Yeah, she shot 269.
Mai is on 269, Camilla 234.
Jort van Weren can still shoot 224 on lane 3 and 4. And he will take a good position in that, because Mats Maggi can shoot 215 if he strikes. And Björn Roetshagen is going for 250 plus. So a good position for Jort at this point if he strikes another one. That's a shot of Mark in the distance.
John Wells is now on 216, and John Wells can shoot 226 maximum score on our future pair of lanes. Falco Gutse can make 213 if he strikes now on the left lane.
Yeah, Johnny is going for 222 and a 269 pace for Rebecca Larsen if she strikes out.
Yep.
Mark had a 9, so he's going for 210 as well.
So he's on 4th position now. Because Thomas Larsen shoot a strike in the tent.
And for sure there will be no 4th place advancing to the next round.
Nope. I see the only one who's struggling now on lane 3-4, Jolene Persson. Lane 4, she's struggling. She's only can shoot 164 if she strikes out.
In the meantime, I see on lanes 5 and 6 the pair of lanes with Brian Vos on it. 169 for Annabelle Jean, 180 for Daniel Françon, 215 for Jean-Marc Lebon. And Brian Vos still has to take his last shot. That ball is going down the lane right now. Let me look. That's all 10, so that's a 258 for Brian. Oh, it's a 7 pin or something, so 257 for Brian. Interesting between Daniel and Jean-Marc Le Bon. Gap of 25 pins.
Now let's see on a future pair, Rebecca Larsen. First Johnny Spiel. He has a strike in 10.
Oh,
no. Oh, yeah. That is a nice shot. He missed the headpin totally.
He missed the headpin on the left side and he had a domino from 6 to 3 to 1. That's awesome, but it gives him a 220 and that keeps him in the race because the other scores are 226 for John Wells and 210 for Falco.
Yeah.
Only Rebecca is like 40 pins ahead of them, so.
What a shot.
And lanes 19 and 20 are already in frame 3 of the second game. Rebecca doubles, so she's gonna shoot a big 260. And I'm watching to 19 and 20 on my right, and I see Yuri starting with 3 spares.
Yeah, 9 spare. No, 6 spare, 9 spare, 9 spare.
Jesper started with an open with that 4-9 in the first frame and doubled after that. And Jesper Svensson started with a strike, spare, strike. And Oliver Leroy, spare, strike, spare. So we will see that in a few frames, but it will come to an end. Let's see what this shot of Rebecca does. Oh, that leaves a 7-10. No worries, it's the 12th frame. 267 is a good score. 8 pins bonus makes 275 even.
Three and 4, Björn Roenshagen 256, Jort van Weren 224, Mats Maggi 215 and Jolien Persson playing for us 164. So the lead is for Björn and second Jort at this moment.
Don't underestimate Mats Maggi.
Yeah.
Multiple national team member of Belgium.
Of course. And on my right side, Yuri Vens, the Dutchman, shoots a strike behind 3 spares.
Falco. Alright, so we are in the second game on every pair of lanes. So the decision will be made in like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. While Marco is going to take a walk around the bowling to see some bowling and see some scores as well. I will stay with you guys and follow it by live scoring. If you have any questions, let me know during this. That 275 is including 8 pins bonus, so Rebecca shot 267. And that makes 275, and before she even threw a ball, she was already on 283. Because she will get another 8 pins. Schietspoel starting off with a, what is it? With a strike. John Wells starting off with a double. Yeah, I'm sorry, I was out for a second, somebody walked up to me, so I had to talk about some things. We are looking at we are looking at Rebecca on lanes 9 and 10 still. In the meantime, let me give you an update on what I see on lanes number 19 and 20. I see Yuri struggling but making all his spares, and that should be enough to get him to the next round, because Olivier and Jesper are a little bit struggling as well. Jesper Svensson started off with a strike, spare 4 strikes, and he's up now for his 7th frame, 5 strikes in a row. That's another one. So Jesper Svensson will be guaranteed for a spot on the final step 3. So I'm watching some live scoring doing on the website schietspoel.nl on lanes 1 and 2. I see Thomas Larsen trying to follow up with Camilla and Mai, and Mark is leaving a little gap there. On lanes 3 and 4, Björn Roetshagen starting off with 3 strikes, Mats Maggi double 9 spare, Joline, well, she was not in the game at all. 9 spare, 9 dash. So Jort needs to stay focused and keep up with Mats Maggi, and Björn Roetshagen will advance on that pair of lanes. I look really quick to my right because I heard a gutter, and it was from Yuri. After a washout, he didn't take any pins at all, so that gives especially Jesper Agebo with a double a really good chance to put a lot of pressure on this young kid. See how he can handle that. Alright, I'm back on. We are back with Rebecca Larsen on lane 9, working on a strike. Oh. The question is Johnny gonna make it? Well, at this point, he is up right now. Let's see what he does. That's a solid shot, but is it gonna be enough? Hard to say. John Wells is starting with 4 strikes already, so he's in a good place at this point. So this is Falco. Falco is in third at this point. And Johnny is in fourth at this point even. So let's see what's gonna happen there. Jesper Svensson on my right side, another strike in the 9th frame. He's on a 280 max if he strikes out in the 10th. Lanes 5 and 6, Annabelle Jean and Jean-Marc Lebon. Jean-Marc Lebon struggling at this point, and that gives Annabelle Jean with a good game the opportunity to get closer and maybe even trying to put some pressure on Brian Vos. Falco made a spare. Lane 7 and 8, Jeffrey van der Wakker and Jimmy Arves still up there. Jeffrey did miss a single pin though. Birgit Pappler starting off with a spare and a double, trying to put on the pressure. Yuri Vens does not have it in his own hands anymore. He is struggling this game. He needs to make this spare to go to 446 on Huh. 50 pins. It is enough. Yuri did make it. If he keeps it on the lane, he will make it. because if Olivier strikes out, he will get an extra 50 pins. 392 plus 50 makes 442. 442, and Yuri will shoot 446 if he strikes. So he just needs 7 pins. Keep it on the lane, buddy. 7 pins. 445 for Yuri Fence. He did it. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. But he did it. Alright, back to John Wells on the approach. 5 in a row. Is this 6? That is 6. Rebecca Larson putting the pressure on. Rebecca and John Wells have the best papers at this point of time to advance to final step number 3. With this 8 count, it's got to be over for Johnny at least. He and Falco are now trailing like 40-50 pins on John and Rebecca. Let me go back to lanes 1 through 4 by live scoring. Let's see if I can say anything about it. If I can see anything about it. Lanes 19 and 20. Jesper Svensson 526 and Yuri Fence 445 advance to the next round, final step 3. Jesper Agebo 441, that's the first number we can write down as a lucky loser. And we're gonna see in a minute if that's gonna be enough or not. 441 as a lucky loser. $441 for Agebo. I'm gonna write it down. Alright, I'm watching live scoring. Lanes 1 through 4. Camilla and Mai are hanging in there. Mark is trailing and Thomas Larsen is just trailing a little bit. So if Thomas can double, and I can, it's so far away. Oh, he's not even on the approach yet, I see. But if he can double or even throw a turkey, then he will be in a good shape to pass Camilla and Mai. And Mark Jacobs is struggling this game, so looks like he's not gonna advance to the next round at this point of time. John Wells, not 12 in a row, guys, I'm sorry. It's a 4 pin. On lanes 3 and 4. Well, like I said, Jort has to watch out for Mats Maggi, and that's exactly what's happening at this point. Mats is throwing a solid game, and Jort is throwing some splits. Nice bowling, Jesper. Jesper was walking by, 526. Gave him a big compliment, of course. It's not an easy score to throw. Johnny went through the nose again, leaves another 3-6. Even a 3-6-10, I see. Rebecca Larson with a strike. Yeah, those guys are not gonna give that away anymore, so John Wells and Rebecca Larson will advance. Important for Johnny to keep up even after this miss with Falco, because he might be even a lucky number 3 in a minute. Because I cannot see the other scores very well, but 441 looks okay, but we will see in a second. On lane 7 and 8, it looks like Karsten Hansen is not gonna give up, but Birgit Poppler, she's taking advantage. So So on lane 7 and 8, that's a real game going on there. Jimmy Waves, I see him double from here. No one is giving up on that pair of lanes. 5 and 6 for second place, still pretty interesting. Brian Vos looks pretty safe at this point. Jean-Marc Lebon can get pretty close though, so not sure how that's gonna work out at this point. We will see, we have to wait. Jeffrey van der Wakker, not a bad shot. He's not gonna make it, looks like it. Alright, back to reality on lanes 1 and 2. Camilla Kjeldsen, Thomas Larsen, Mike Inge Jensen. All in a pretty good shape to advance. Dat doen we na de volgende. Lanes number 3 and 4. Well, Jolien is trying really hard, but she's never gonna be able to fix that gap to Mats or Björn. Jort went down as well, so Mats Maggi and Björn Roetshagen will advance. Pretty sure on lanes 3 and 4. Lanes 1 and 2, really interesting game going on there.
Yeah, just came back for 1 and 2, and yeah, Mark Jacobs, yeah, he has the problems with the 9s. If he didn't shoot the 9s, it was good shots, but 9 there, it will kill you against those players. But it's interesting who will be 1 and 2, but I think it will be Camilla and Thomas. That's
yeah, especially because we see that Mai had a spare in the 9th, and we see for Camilla and Thomas they are all working on a row of strikes.
Yeah.
So that's a 10 plus pins advantage that you will get in the 10th frame already. So, and she's trailing already by 6 pins. She's leading by 6, but with the spare and the double now. But you never know, maybe Camilla or Thomas will throw a split in 10th and Mike can take over, we will see.
another 9 for Mark. It's only on lane 2. He only shoot on lane 2, 9, 9, 9.
Yes, and a split. He started off with a strike there, then a split and 3 9s indeed.
Yeah.
Alright, we see Rebecca Larson on the approach. She might even win from John Wells. She took a good lead in the first game, of course, but it's not about winning or getting second. It might give you a little advantage for the schedule on the next pair of lanes, but
Yeah, and I'm wondering who will be our lucky number 3s.
I think Jesper on lanes 19 and 20. And I think, of course, the one that's coming from lane 1 and 2, so Mai or Thomas or Camilla, one of those 3. On lanes 3 and 4, they're not gonna make that score, so probably not a lucky loser from there. Ooh, Camilla 225, you see that? I'm sorry, I'm live scoring, so I didn't see it, but she had a split in the 10th.
467.
Oh, and Mai has a split as well in the 10th.
Can Mark go there for third place?
No. Mark can shoot 420 only.
No. Oh my god.
But this is interesting, you see that?
Yeah.
Camilla
And if Thomas Larsen shoot
268, he will get 514.
yeah, the lucky number 3 will be also from lane 1 and 2.
Yeah, for sure. So
That's for sure.
so that's gonna be Mai. And how much does she have? I'm writing it down. Because we have 4 lucky losers, right? Out of only 6.
Yeah, out of 6, yeah.
So 4 out of 6. So you had a big chance.
So I think the trouble is for Jort at this moment.
Oh, absolutely. The trouble is for Jort and for, so my shots 460 is a lucky loser. And as said before, Camilla Kjelsen and Thomas Larsen will advance. I will give you Thomas' score in a little bit. Let's see what's happening on lanes 5 and 6. Oh, wow. We got lanes 5 and 6. Brian Vos will advance for sure. Annabelle Jean has 379, Daniel Franson has 385, Jean-Marc Lebon has 375 with 1 frame to go. He can shoot 400. So Daniel Franson will be a lucky loser with 385. Is it gonna be enough or not? On lane 7 and 8, the lucky loser is gonna throw more than that.
Okay, I look in the chat room, a lot of people speaking French. Hopefully they gonna speak English. Otherwise, I will be put you out of the chat. So speak English only, please.
Let's see.
There are a lot of chatters in our chat room and they like to chat with each other, discuss with each other about what's happening here. And if you talk French only, it's impossible for them to read. So try to keep the chat English. Thank you. Take a look on 9 and 10. Who win? John Wells?
Yeah, John Welsh won with 494, and Rebecca, if she strikes, she's shooting 489. And we got Falco as a lucky loser with 425 there. I'm just waiting to
Johnny
see who's
Spill.
going to be the lucky loser on 7 and 8, so I can calculate if that lucky loser is going to advance or not. Well, I can tell you right now it is going to advance, because let's see who it's going to be. It's probably going to be Karsten.
Jeffrey?
Well, Jeffrey can shoot 401 and Karsten can shoot and Karsten can shoot 402. So that's pretty interesting.
Oh my god.
So Jeffrey needs the double.
Yeah?
And let's see what Karsten does, because if he does, Oh, Jeffrey is already finished. He didn't double.
He didn't.
No, 390. And Karsten is going over that. Well, he needs 8 pins, Karsten. And then he shoots. So Jort and Daniel will not advance as lucky losers. First lucky loser, Mai Ginge Jensen. Second lucky loser, Jesper Agebo. Third lucky loser, Falco Gutje. Fourth lucky loser, in 1 second it will be sure, but it's going to be Karsten. I'm pretty sure he's going to throw 8 pins.
Okay, then we are waiting for final step 3.
And he got 9, 391, yeah, maybe 392, but enough to get through as a lucky loser.
Final step 3 will be right in front of our cams. So be patient, you will see more bowling, more shots than the next step. Thank you for watching final step 2 so far. And we see you back in step 3.
In about 10 to 15 minutes, I think.
Yeah, I think it will be short time. Normally 15 minutes max. Don't forget to click on the follow button on the Ustream channel of the Dutch Bowling TV. Go to www.ustream.tv and search for Dutch Bowling. You find our channel, the Bowling TV Holland or Dutch Bowling TV, whatever. Click on the follow button and don't miss any live stream anymore, or go to our Facebook page, Dutch Bowling TV. So in 3 separate words, Dutch Bowling TV on Facebook, and like the page please. So thank you for watching, and we see you back in final step 3.